guys, it's Dan doing a little video blog today. I wanted to talk about being the best. Alright, now this is something we're probably going to come back to in other videos in the future, but there is a lot to be said for being a generalist. That is, you're really good at a whole bunch of things. You're not, amazing, but you can do many things. And I, by principle, am mostly a generalist as well. But there's also a lot to be said for being the best at least one thing. All right, it's a major asset in your life. Speaking as somebody who's, gone through school, I've gone through college, I've been bouncing around the job world, been to a couple of jobs, being able to say that, yes, I am the best in my field at this, or even, yes, I'm the best person in my state, or in my city, or even, in my local community. I am the best at something. That is a huge thing, both in employment, in life, the way people react to you. Being the best at something is really good. You don't have to be the best at everything, but picking one thing to focus on and being the best at it is a huge asset to your life. All right, now I was browsing some blogs the other day and I'm going back through some archives, and I found a cool old post on Lifehacker. All right, I'll link to it in the bottom of the description, but it was actually called Jerry Seinfeld's Productivity Secret. Now, Jerry Seinfeld, of course, is a pretty well-known stand-up comedian, also had a very popular TV show. It's still running on, half a dozen networks. And regardless of how you feel about his style of humor, it can be said that he is very successful. Now, when he was starting out, he was probably not that successful. And in fact, he admits that he was not that successful. He only got better by practicing. But here's the deal. Everybody says they want to practice something new, but just practice itself doesn't make things perfect, right? Perfect practice makes perfect. You need to practice something well and do it right. A lot of the time people will throw themselves into something and, they'll practice really hard for the first couple of days and then they'll kind of taper off and, whatever. It ends up like, a failed workout plan. You start out doing something really enthusiastically and then you get kind of bored and kind of distracted. You're like, yeah, I really can't. And before you know it, you're not working at being the best at something anymore. But he had a cool trick, and he called it, I believe he called it the chain method. Basically, he took a calendar. He just printed out a calendar. Well, I'm sure he actually just bought a calendar. We can print them out now. And every single day that he practiced his comedy, writing up jokes, writing up a routine, every single day that he practiced, he'd make an X on the calendar. And he would make a chain of days over time with the X's. So he didn't have to practice a lot. I'm sure some days he didn't practice all that much, and some days he practiced more than others. But the important thing is he got the repetition in every single day. Now, I personally am working at being the best at writing, all right? I like writing. It's what I like to do. I write for the blog. I make these videos. I write scripts for them and stuff like that. And I'm working really hard at getting better at it. So I have done the very same thing, all right? If you see, you can look over here. On the wall over here, I've got a calendar. Look, you can see I just started up there. All right, so instead of doing X's, I decided to actually do circles just to make it look a little more like a chain because I'm a literal kind of guy. But you can see right there in December, I've marked down the last 2 days that I wrote. I did it yesterday and the day before. And I even wrote down how many words I got done, so that I could have an idea of what an exemplary day was and what a regular day was. But the important thing here is, look, I said write, half hour, every day, no exceptions. Don't break the chain. All right? That's my goal. Regardless of how many words I get down in any given day, my goal is to get at least half an hour of writing time in. And half an hour is generally a good block to shoot for. It's easy to fit into your day. You can most likely find a time slot for it. You can get an uninterrupted half hour, if you're a parent, when the kids are napping or when they're at school. If you're in school yourself, you can go ahead and find some time either before or after. There's lots of places you can fit in half an hour. And while you may be like, oh man, I can fit it in an hour and a half, I'm awesome. You know what? Don't start that big. Start at half an hour. Make it manageable so that you stick with it. Again, if you overwhelm yourself, it's like what we talked about with New Year's resolutions. You overwhelm yourself at the beginning and you just burn yourself out and you're done. All right? Do a half hour. Pick one thing that you want to be the best at. I don't care what it is. Maybe it's juggling. Maybe it's playing video games. So playing video games. You want to be the best, League of Legends player, the best StarCraft player, or the best, whatever. Pick a half hour, all right? Get a half hour every day of real, concerted, good, perfect practice, all right? Work at being the best in your practice, and then you'll start to become the best in life, all right? Stream for half an hour if you're playing games. If you're doing a sport, go do drills for half an hour, If you're writing, write for half an hour, do something. Pick one thing and stick with it. Now, over here on my calendar, I've got this stretched all the way out to January 2014, all right? So we're working out all through, January 2015. We're working out all the way to January next year, okay? That's what we're working towards. And I'm not going to break the chain between now and then. I want to do an entire year, because we're about to start the new year, I'm going to do an entire year of writing every single day. And I guarantee I will be a bazillion times better at writing by the end of that year. And if you pick something and join me on my quest of becoming the best at something and start your calendar chain, then you too can be amazingly good at something, even just a single year from now. All right, I'm going to throw the link for those printable calendars down in the description below, as well as a link to the original Lifehacker blog post, because it's cool to read. And, I'm just going to keep on bringing cool stuff to you guys. I should have another workout coming out soon, and maybe some more cool stuff too. All right, so until next time, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. I'm Dan with BeAGameCharacter.com. Have a great day.